Jerry was a young man living alone in a small, quiet village. He had been lonely for as long as he could remember. His parents had passed away when he was a child, and the villagers always found him peculiar because he avoided people and spent his days reading mysterious, ancient books. His fascination with the supernatural gave him solace in his isolated life, but little did he know that this obsession would one day open the door to a terrifying curse. One cold and silent night, Jerry was deeply engrossed in one of his books. The room was dimly lit by a flickering candle, and the stillness around him was almost unsettling. Suddenly, he heard a strange whisper from outside his window, calling his name. Startled, he cautiously approached the window and looked out, but there was nothing but darkness. Relieved, he turned back toward his book, only to freeze in horror. A shadowy figure stood silently in the center of the room. "You have called us, Jerry," the figure said in a chilling voice. Jerry's hands trembled, and his voice barely escaped his lips. Who are you?" he stammered. The shadow moved closer, its form becoming clearer. It was a Jinn, a powerful being from another realm, feeding on human fears and loneliness. "Your solitude has summoned me," the Jinn said, "and now I will not leave." The Jinn began to torment Jerry day and night. Objects in his room moved on their own. Doors slammed shut violently, and the air around him filled with eerie whispers. At night, the Jinn would appear in his nightmares, laughing and taunting him. Jerry's life turned into a living nightmare. He realized that his obsession with the supernatural and his lonely existence had invited this entity into his life. Despite his fear, Jerry refused to surrender. He turned to his collection of ancient books, searching for a way to rid himself of the Jinn. Through his research, he discovered that Jinn thrive on fear and darkness, but cannot withstand strong faith, courage, and positivity. Determined to fight back, Jerry decided to strengthen his willpower and confront the Jinn head-on. As Jerry prepared himself, the Jinn grew angrier. One stormy night, it unleashed its full wrath. The room turned pitch black, and the walls echoed with terrifying screams. "You cannot escape me, Jerry," the Jinn roared. "I am the shadow of your loneliness." But Jerry, though trembling with fear, stood tall and began reciting prayers he had learned from his books. At first, his voice was shaky, but with each word, he grew stronger. The flickering candlelight seemed to grow brighter, pushing back the darkness around him. The Jinn howled in pain as Jerry's prayers filled the room. "You have no power over me," Jerry shouted, his voice now filled with confidence. The Jinn, unable to withstand the light and strength of Jerry's faith, let out one final, deafening scream before vanishing into thin air. The room filled with an overwhelming sense of peace, and Jerry collapsed to the floor, exhausted but victorious. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the windows of Jerry's house as he opened them wide for the first time in years. He had faced his greatest fear and conquered it. From that day forward, Jerry made a promise to himself to never let loneliness consume him again. He reached out to the villagers, made friends, and began a new chapter in his life filled with light and companionship. Jerry's story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. No matter how dark life may seem, courage and faith can overcome even the most terrifying of shadows. By facing his fears and embracing the world around him, Jerry transformed his life and defeated the darkness within.